Intel Corporation is currently undergoing one of the most capital-intensive corporate turnarounds in modern financial history. The core of this analysis rests on evaluating whether the IDM 2.0 strategy is a visionary pivot or a structurally flawed money pit. To determine this, the company must be viewed not through the lens of retail sentiment, but as a long-term capital compounding machine. Evaluating Intel requires a dissection of its core financial architecture, capital allocation, and the structural moats it is attempting to rebuild. Let's begin by breaking down the macro thesis. Intel's potential is anchored to three systemic megatrends. The first is the AI infrastructure buildout. While GPUs currently dominate the training of large language models, the broader ecosystem, including inference, data center architecture, and AI-enabled edge computing, remains deeply reliant on CPUs and custom ASICs. This huge expansion of the total addressable market for compute demands massive, scalable manufacturing capacity. The second massive trend is the shift toward custom silicon. Hyperscalers such as Microsoft, Amazon, and Google are moving away from off-the-shelf processors toward custom designs to optimize their workloads and reduce the total cost of ownership. This creates a structural demand for advanced semiconductor foundries. Intel's pivot to open its manufacturing to external customers through Intel Foundry is a direct attempt to capture this back-end manufacturing demand. The third macro trend is the de-risking of the global supply chain. Currently, semiconductor manufacturing is heavily concentrated in East Asia, creating a systemic single point of failure. The growing drive toward digital sovereignty ensures there is structural government-backed demand for a resilient Western-based foundry alternative. In this geopolitical context, semiconductor manufacturing is treated as critical national infrastructure. Now, let's move over to the competitive moat. Intel's historical moat in x86 architecture has been breached, requiring the construction of new structural barriers. The most significant barrier they are building is based on scale and capital intensity. Just look at this. A single modern fabrication plant now costs between $20 billion and $30 billion. This extreme upfront cost effectively limits the global field of leading-edge logic manufacturers to only three major players: Intel, TSMC, and Samsung. Beyond the massive cost of entry, Intel is actively leveraging high switching costs within its foundry business. When a chip designer commits to a specific foundry node, such as Intel 18A, the process design kits, or PDKs, and intellectual property become deeply integrated into the manufacturing process. Transitioning a complex design to a different foundry isn't easy. It's a multi-year process costing hundreds of millions of dollars. This dynamic creates highly durable, sticky revenue streams for the foundry. Furthermore, Intel maintains a significant lead in advanced packaging technology, utilizing sophisticated techniques like EMIB and Foveros to successfully stack multiple chiplets. As AI accelerators become increasingly complex, the ability to provide these high-margin packaging services becomes a critical differentiator, even if the base silicon is manufactured somewhere else. Ultimately, evaluating Intel as a long-term capital compounding machine requires us to understand how these macro trends and structural moats align. The rational bull case for Intel depends precisely on the successful scaling of this foundry business and the execution of their technology roadmap. Let's break down the core arguments surrounding Intel's turnaround, starting with the optimistic view. The rational bull case really depends on scaling the foundry business and executing their technology roadmap perfectly. Looking at the Q1 2026 data, we see total revenue reached $13.6 billion, which is a solid 7% year-over-year increase. A massive driver here was the data center and AI segment, growing 22% to $5.1 billion. This tells us that their Granite Rapids server processors are genuinely competing well on power efficiency and total cost of ownership. Now, gross margin is absolutely critical for any manufacturing turnaround. In Q1 2026, their non-GAAP gross margin sat at 41.0%. For the bull case to play out, we need to see this metric climb toward the 50% range as new nodes like Intel 3 and 18A reach high-volume yields. Better yields mean less waste per wafer, which flows directly to the bottom line. On the Foundry side, Intel has built a lifetime deal value pipeline exceeding $15 billion, validated by major players like Microsoft and Tesla. While it's true the unit posted an operating loss of $2.4 billion this quarter, the bull thesis points to profitability by 2028 as utilization rates climb. Right now, the return on invested capital is suppressed by heavy capex, about $5 billion a quarter. But the goal is to flip this capital base into recurring high-margin cash flows by the late 2020s. But we have to look at the bear case, which argues Intel might be structurally impaired. The biggest red flag in Q1 2026 is the adjusted free cash flow, sitting at negative $2.0 billion. Since free cash flow is operating cash minus capital expenditures, a negative number means they are burning cash faster than they generate it. Without a turnaround here, they might need to issue more debt or dilute equity. There's also significant execution risk. Intel's strategy relies on flawless node transitions. If the 18A node fails to achieve high yields by late 2026, or if their design kits are too complex, that $15 billion pipeline could easily flow right back to TSMC. Furthermore, Intel faces an AI accelerator deficit. While CPU revenue grows, they lag in the high-margin GPU market dominated by Nvidia. And fundamentally, there's a capital efficiency gap. Managing both a product business and a foundry creates immense overhead compared to fabless peers. Taking a step back, let's look at the geopolitical and macro overlay. Because so much leading-edge silicon is in Taiwan, any disruption there is a huge risk. Intel's Western manufacturing base acts as a geopolitical hedge for the supply chain. This is backed by $5.7 billion from the US CHIPS Act, which de-risks their balance sheet, but adds regulatory complexity. Plus, the high interest rate environment makes capital more expensive, compressing valuation multiples. So, what is the rational verdict? Intel is essentially a high-stakes venture capital project wrapped in a legacy structure. The Q1 2026 data shows real progress, especially with DCAI up 22%. But the risks remain stark, particularly that negative free cash flow. From a portfolio view, it's not a foundational core holding yet. It's more of a tactical satellite play. To see if the turnaround is truly working, keep a close eye on gross margins, the foundry operating losses, and the execution of the 18A ramp-up. If these improve consistently, the long-term value creation thesis holds water.